All right, peace, 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 peace. This is Maury Yaakov. All right, peace, peace. This is Maury Yaakov. Back in another live. I'm just doing a summary from last night. Let me blow my shofar because this still is the Sabbath. All right, family. This is still the Sabbath. This is Maury Yaakov doing a summary from last night. All right, we doing a summary from last night. Do Jacob have 12 sons? Give me a minute. All right, we're doing a summary from last night. We had a brother, Eleazar, come up and presented his information that saying that Jacob had 12 sons plus 2, which is 14 of the 2 that he adopted. But family, sometimes it just takes common sense. Like they say, a common sense approach to look at life the way life is. And I'm going to show y'all where he got his information from. And if y'all want to get to read, go get to read. I have it already. This way he get his information from. He get it from the 13th Tribe book. That's where you get it from. You want to read it? Go get it. This is a Jewish perspective. Okay? This is not dealing with law perspective. It's only dealing with the Jewish man, the small hats. This is their perspective, the 13th tribe. I invited the brother. I told him he could come on up if he's listening. He could come on up. Make sure I put the link in the chat. But this is the perspective that he's coming from, the Jewish man perspective. He's not coming from law. And I'm gonna show you why. This thing is real simple. You know, Jacob only had 12 sons that came from his bowels. Now, he never disagreed with that. But he's trying to add in Ephraim and Manasseh. And then he said, and then he also said that the Levites were removed from, and they became a tribe of themselves. But family, let's deal with that real quick. The Levites became a tribe of themselves. They were no longer the tribe of Israel per se, because they became the inheritance of the Creator. We're gonna touch on that. Now, I asked him, you can go back. I asked him, because I'm gonna play some of his video. I asked him, is your purpose, do your purpose remove you from your lineage? And this is the problem, because if that's the case, everything that the Creator chose is no longer of that seed line or that bloodline. It becomes neutral. But is that really the case? Because Israel was always set apart from the nations. So when Israel was always set apart from the nations, does that make Israel a nation of itself? Or is Israel still a part of the families of the earth? See, some things we have to be careful when we make mention of certain things. Shalom, shalom to Sister Latoya G and Zipporah Smith and Trey and Zayden. When we open our mouths, we have to be very careful at the things that we say, and we have to be very cognitive of how that thing come over and come across to people. When you say that when you say the Levites became a tribe of themselves because the Creator removed them, then you're telling me that the Levites are neutral now, because one of the sons of Jacob was Levi. And that's how you got Moses, Aaron, Miriam. That's how you end up with the Levites, the priesthood. So when the Levites were separated, they became, according to him, they became a nation of themselves. So when the Creator separated Israel from the families of the earth, did he denote them as the families of the earth? Well, let's go there. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. And let's see if the Creator called Israel something other than the families of the earth. Let's go there real quick. And I promise you, I'm not going to be on this live that long. I promise you that. Let's go there. Let's see if the Creator called Israel, because he set them apart, anything other than the families of the earth. Is Israel part of the tables of nation? Or because he called them out for a particular purpose, is they still a part of the earth, or are they separate from the earth? Let's see. Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. Let me read down. When the Creator, your power, shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, and has cast many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, Havites, the Jebusites, and the 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. When the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give to thy sons, and nor his daughters shalt thou take unto your sons, for they would turn away your sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Creator be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Now, notice what he's saying about the 7 nations, okay? Now, let's skip to verse 7, because he's showing you that when you go into the land, when Israel go into the land, that's very important. When Israel go into the land, because the brothers' premises was about the land inheritance, okay? Last night, that brothers' premises was about the land inheritance. It was about the 12 tribes plus the 2 Jacob had, and plus how many lots the land had. So when Israel go into the land, I want y'all to don't forget this point. When Israel go into the land. Now let's jump to verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were what? Fewest of all people. Now, jump back to verse 6. He's telling Israel that they were fewest among all people. Now, look at verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord thy God has what? Chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. The same thing what he did to the Levites. He chose the Levites unto himself. See? He chose the Levites unto himself. He's doing the same thing with the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes. He says what? I have chosen you. I have you a special people unto myself, above what? All the people that are upon the face of the earth. So is Israel separated, meaning that they are no longer part of a bloodline because he chose them? Or is the separation is for a particular purpose that will galvanize Israel towards the people of the earth? See, the whole plan is the plan of itself. Israel was chosen for a purpose, the same way the Levites were chosen for a purpose. And because you were chosen for a purpose does not negate the bloodline that you come from. It doesn't separate you from that bloodline. When Abraham was called from the Chaldeans, does that not make Abraham a Chaldean? Because his father was a Chaldean, which is an Assyrian. So Abraham stopped being who his father was because the Creator told him to leave his father's land. See, sometimes we have to pay attention to what we say and not build a narrative to try to drive a point. Because the Creator called Abraham. He separated Abraham unto himself. He called Abraham his friend. So was not Abraham an Assyrian no more? Or was Abraham still an Assyrian? But the separation just drove a point of purpose. Let's keep riding. Let's keep cooking. See, we have to pay attention. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and 9. Because Israel is a part of the families of the earth. They're not separate. Just because the Creator called them and chose them, they're not separate from the earth. They are still part of the earth. They are still part of the families of the earth. Your purpose don't separate you from blood. Your purpose only bring you closer to what the Creator has designed for you to do. But it still does not negate your house. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32. 32 and 9. Sister Latoya said, LOL, Israel is still biologically Syrians. And that's true. They are still biological Syrians because that's where they come from. It doesn't matter how we try to splice the gene cell. Israel started from some gene pool. There's no scripture in the Bible that testified that Israel was a nation of itself. Abraham came from somebody. And that somebody came from somebody. You see? Abraham just had a purpose like Shem had a purpose. Like Noah had a purpose. But it does not negate of the bloodline that in the house that they came from. They may have became a house of themselves, but they still came from a house of their fathers. And you cannot negate the house of their fathers. Now, Deuteronomy 32 and 9. Let's ride on that real quick. Just to prove a point, what I was just saying. See, the Levites were the Lord's portion, right? But here, Deuteronomy 32 and 9, it says, for the Lord's portion is his people. So now, hold on. So you mean to tell me that the Creator got two portions of people? So the Levites is one portion and the other Israelites are the other portion? Is that what the brother's saying? Was that what the brother's saying last night? Because it says the Lord's portion is his people. It's his people. That includes the 12 tribes of Israel and include their gene. Is his people. So why did he call the Levites his portion? Now we're gonna get into a little something today. We're in the crock pot. We slow cooking, but trust me, we ain't gonna cook long. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So Israel is his portion. Israel is his portion. And Jacob is his inheritance. So why is he saying Israel is his portion? Because Israel has a purpose. And that's the reason why he told Jacob he's going to take Jacob into Egypt. And he told Jacob, I'm going to go down into Egypt with you and I'm going to make you a great nation. He's going to make them a great nation for what? To make them 14 tribes? Or was Israel supposed to be the priest of the earth? We're going to go somewhere today. Because when you're talking about this 14 or this 12 tribes adopted into two, we're going to deal with that in just a second. But Israel, the portion of the Creator was the nation of Israel. He set the nation aside to be his people for the earth. See, the earth belongs to the Creator, not the promised land. The whole earth belongs to the Creator. The promised land was just an inheritance for the covenant that he made with a particular people. But he made a covenant he made a whole covenant to the earth. And those people that he made the covenant with was supposed to be the priest that was supposed to be upon the earth. But let's keep cooking. Let's keep cooking. Let's keep cooking. Because see, Jacob having more than 12 sons was an interesting topic, but I don't think the brother delivered that correctly. I don't think he delivered it correctly, and I know he didn't deliver it correctly. Because Jacob only had 12 sons. But we're gonna expect, because see, one of his whole premises was about the land, and I'm gonna play his own words. That's why when you come on somebody's platform, be careful. You got to make sure what you say, because the words being played back. Your words being played back. So let's keep cooking. Let's keep cooking. Let's keep cooking. Because Israel is the portion of the Creator, the whole nation. And he gave Jacob inheritance, meaning land. The land that he gave Jacob was the land that he already promised to the forefathers, Abraham. Shem already had Jerusalem. Go read it. Go look it up. Go look it up. Shem already had Jerusalem. Remember, Abraham went to Jerusalem. He was already in Jerusalem too. Abraham was in Jerusalem. Lot was in Jerusalem. So now Israel is going back to now supposed to rid of the people that have broke the law of sedition. They were supposed to now remove those people from the land. But let's keep cooking. Let's go to Numbers 35. Let's go to Numbers 35. We're going to get into the point why Jacob did what he did. That's why I asked the question. Because the Creator don't give you anything without having a reason behind it. There always has to be a reason when the Creator opens his mouth. He gives reason and purpose behind it. See, we can't say when somebody asks you, well, why did he give him those double portion? You can't come and say, I don't know. That means you're not reading. Numbers 35. We're gonna start at verse 1 and read all the way down to verse 8. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possession. Huh? So the Levites did have a possession. Their name just was not on land. We're gonna touch that in a minute, because this was brought out last night. See, because one thing he kept saying, well, there's no land that's called Joseph. There's no land that's called Levite. But I'm showing it to you right here. Command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in. So the children of Israel were supposed to give the Levites a portion of their land. The Levites had a portion of all 12 lands. Body bag, fam. Body bag. And I'm gonna show you the bigger picture. The Creator had to take the bigger picture and shrink it so that the Israelites can see. They was given portions of each tribe land. They were given cities. The Levites wasn't living in the temple. They were living in every tribe city. They had cities unto themselves. Let's keep cooking. And give them the inheritance of their possessions, cities to dwell in. And ye shall what? Give also unto the Levites suburbs for the cities round about them. So they had land. It's just that land wasn't called after them. See, the brother whole premises was the land, but he said it wasn't. It was the 12. It was the 12 tribes and adopted into one, too. But we're going to get into that in just a minute. Verse 4, and the suburbs of the cities, which you shall give unto the Levites, shall reach from the wall of the cities and outward 1,000 cubits round about. See, this goes back into Ezekiel, but let's keep going. And you shall measure from without the cities. On the east side, 2,000 cubits. On the south side, 2,000 cubits. On the west side, 2,000 cubits. On the north side, 2,000 cubits. And the cities shall be in the midst. In the what? Midst. Mean every it's going to be in the midst of your territory. So if you Judah, you're going to have a Levite city and suburbs sitting right there. If you're Ephraim, you're going to have Levite city and suburbs sitting right there. If you are Naphtali, you're going to have Levite cities sitting in suburbs sitting right there. It's going to be in the midst where you can see it. Okay? Now, it says in the midst, this shall be to them the suburbs of the cities. And among the cities which you shall give unto the Levites, there shall be six cities for refuge, which ye shall appoint for the what? Manslayers, that ye may flee thither. And to them you shall add 42 cities. Because the Levites is going to have jurisdiction over them. Because they got to make sure everything is fair when it happens, because that person who kills somebody is going to have to flee there. And the Levites is going to be the ones that go there and do the jurisdiction. But let's keep riding. Let's keep cooking, family. Let's keep cooking. And it says, verse 7. So all the cities which ye shall give to the what? Levites shall be 48 cities. Them shall you give with their suburbs. And the cities which you shall give shall be of a possession of the children of Israel. Every Levite, there's going to be Levites living in 12 lands, territory. So the Levites do have an inheritance, family. Their inheritance is among you. Now, that's very important. Their inheritance is among you. They didn't need no land per se, because their inheritance was among you. And now the question now becomes, why was the Levites' land inheritance that they're going to possess was going to be among you? You see? From them that have many, ye shall give many. But from them that have few, you shall give few. Everyone shall give of his cities unto the Levites according to his inheritance, which he inherit. So the Levites do have an inheritance, family. Their inheritance is among you. So when we say that the Creator said don't count them because they are my inheritance, we're going to touch that in a minute too. Because that was only for a purpose. But the Levites' inheritance is among you. So when he said that the Levites don't have no inheritance among Israel, I just showed you that's a lie. Give me 1 second. They just don't have a name called the land of Levi. They just don't have a name because there's a purpose why there's no name there. There's a purpose for that. But their inheritance is really among you. Okay? Let's keep cooking, family. The reason why their inheritance was among you, let's go to Exodus. Let's go to Exodus 19 verse 5 and 6. Exodus, the 19th chapter, verse 5 and 6. Their inheritance was among you. And there's a reason why the Creator did what he did. That's why I say, why did he do that? Exodus the 19th, verse 5 and 6. Now, therefore, if you obey, well, let's go to verse 4. You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bear you on eagle wings, brought you unto my what? Unto myself. See, Israel is for the Creator. And there's a reason why he did that. He took Israel in. He was in Egypt with Israel, and he brought Israel out. He told Jacob he's going to make him a great nation, a people. So now he's bringing Israel out. And notice what in verse 5 it says, now therefore, because he brought them out, he says, now therefore, if you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. Why is he comparing Israel to the earth if Israel is set apart from the earth? Why is he comparing Israel to the earth if Israel is set apart from the earth? Why is he saying all the earth is mine? If everything just derives around the promised land. Because there's a purpose of why he's saying what he's saying and why he told Moses to speak what he's speaking. He said the whole earth is mine. Now, let's go to verse 6. He says, and you shall be unto me. That's right. Sister Latoya say the earth is the sanctuary. The earth is the sanctuary. He said, you shall be a priest unto me. I mean, you shall be a kingdom of priests. A kingdom of priests. Is that only the Levites or is that the whole nation? Is that the whole if that's the Levites, or is he talking about the whole nation? Because each nation was a kingdom. Each nation was a kingdom of itself. He said, you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. The holy means to be set apart. You shall be a set apart nation. These are the words which thou shall speak unto the what? Children of Israel. So the children of Israel was supposed to be a priesthood. For who? The earth. That's why he set apart them. He set apart the nation for the earth. You see? He set apart the nations of Israel for the earth. Why am I saying that? Because when Israel messed up and they sinned, that's when you got the Levites to become a priesthood. Let's go to Psalms 24:1. And when you got the Levites to be a priesthood after sin, he condensed the plan of the earth to now within the 12 tribes. Because instead of Israel ministering to the earth, Israel has to now be ministered to within their borders. I'm going to let that sink to you. I'm going to let that sink. Israel was supposed to be the ministers to the earth. Israel was supposed to be the example to the earth. But because Israel messed up in the wilderness, the earth plan now condensed itself into the promised land. Now Israel need a priesthood to minister to them. So he chose the Levites out of the 12 for himself to now live among the Israelites. So what happened to the inheritance land that the Israelites, according to Jacob, was going to receive? It went to Joseph. It went to Joseph. That's how Joseph ended up with a double portion. Because now the Levites cannot inherit land because they have to now be the example to the Israelites. And to be the example, you have to now be in all places. Spread it out. And the only time when everybody gathers is coming to Jerusalem. But other than that, you had the Levites there in their respective land ministering to them, governing them. So let's keep riding. Let's keep cooking. Psalms 24:1. A Psalms of David. The earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell in it. Why he didn't say the promised land? We're making a big deal of the promised land. Why he didn't say the promised land is the Lord? Because the promised land was only the covenant for the ones he called in, he called out to be separate. But the earth is where Israel was supposed to be ministering. But because Israel messed up, everything condensed itself. And now someone has to now minister to Israel. Let's keep cooking. Jeremiah 16:19. Jeremiah 16:19. O Lord, my strength, my fortress, and my refuge. In the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto who? Thee, that's you, from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have what? Inherit lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. See? Who they coming to? If they're not coming to Israel, which goes back to Exodus 19, verse 5 and 6. Who the Gentiles is going to come to? Are they going to come to the priests of the earth? Or are they going to find a Levite? Is Israel the Levite of the earth? So let's keep riding. Let's keep cooking. Let's go to Numbers 36 and 9. See, the Levites had a portion. That's why I didn't understand what the brother was talking about. I'm going to get into his words in a minute. That's why I didn't understand what the brother was talking about. Number 36 and 9. Now, this is talking about the daughters. The man who had daughters and he died and left his inheritance to his daughters. See, so what happened? This is the thing which the Lord do command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry to whom they think is best. Only to the families of the tribe of their father shall they marry. See? So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe. They couldn't move the inheritance from tribe to tribe. Because some tribes were given some this and some tribes were given some of that. We already read that. For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of what? His father. So how Ephraim and Manasseh become a tribe of itself, but excuse Joseph? See, this is the question. And I asked the question last night, why did Joseph bless Ephraim and Manasseh? What was he blessing them with? The brother said, I don't know. So, verse 8, every daughter that possess an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father. That the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his father. So family, if you see Ephraim and Manasseh in the Bible, and then at times it'll say the house of Joseph. Then it'll connect Joseph's name to Ephraim or Manasseh. And the reason being is because the writers don't want you to think that Ephraim and Manasseh were independent of Joseph. Why did the Creator, or why did it was left as to Ephraim and Manasseh and not the land of Joseph? We're going to get there. See, that's why I say a lot of things is common sense. The Levites had a portion. The portion was among you. It wasn't just the temple. It was wherever the Levites were. You had to give them a portion of your stuff. You had to give them cities and suburbs. So they had a portion. Their portion was among you. Because they was ministering to you. The same way Israel was supposed to be ministering to the earth. So the Father, everything goes according to the Father's house. So when you tell me that Jacob has 14 tribes, 12 by blood and 2 by adoption, and then you go according to land and saying that there's not enough land there. Well, when did the Creator say he gonna only have 12 slots of land? Did that come before Egypt, while they were in Egypt, or after they sinned in the desert? When did the 12 plots of land come about? When? Because I only read that the Creator said he's going to give Jacob an inheritance. Show me where he said, I'm going to give them 12 inheritance per land of land. I challenge anybody. Show me where the Creator told Jacob, I'm going to give you an inheritance of 12 plots of land before Egypt or during Egypt. So every inheritance goes according to the Father's house. Second part, let's go to Joshua 21. You can't get around Joseph. Joshua 41. Excuse me, Salaki, Joshua 21. Joshua, the 21st chapter, verse 41. And we're going to read on to verse 43. All the cities of the Levites within the possession of the children of Israel were 48 cities with their suburbs. You see? The Levites' inheritance is among you. So they do have an inheritance. Just because they don't have no land called the Levite, the land of Levite, but they have land. They have inheritance. The inheritance is your possession as well. These cities were everyone with their suburbs round about them. Thus were all these cities. And the Lord gave unto Israel all the land, which he swore to give unto their fathers. And they possessed it and dwelt therein. Shalom, shalom, brother Shavar. Verse 44. And the Lord gave them rest round about, according to all that he had swore unto his fathers. And there stood not a man of all their enemies before them. The Lord delivered all their enemies into their hands. See, the Levites were in your land. The Levites were in your possession, your inheritance. So it'll be said, well, I'm not saying that they didn't have no cities or whatever. Yeah, they possess cities there. Yeah, they possess cities there. But the thing is that they had land. And their land was given. Some of the portions of the land was given to you, to the Levites. So, Brother Marcus, what you got?
I also just wanted to tell you, brother, who said that Israel had 12 tribes from the Gideon? Remember, they could wait when they went into Canaan. They went into Canaan and they inherited the lands that the Canaanites had already built.
Right. Right. The Canaanites had already built those lands. Correct. You there, Brother Marcus? He probably dropped. He probably having communication problems. We're gonna move on till he come back. So the Levites, yeah, what you got, brother?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to actually say, if you read the book, it says that Israel took the lands from the people that were already there, the Canaanites. Who said the Canaanites only had 12 cities?
Well, that's true.
Whoever said that the Canaanites only had 12 cities? It said Jacob had 12 sons. It didn't tell you that Canaanites only built 12 cities in Canaan.
Well, or 12 territories.
12 territories. It don't say nothing about 12 territories.
It don't say nothing about that either. No.
Well, I don't care what we called it. It don't say nothing about it. And we know that we have a refuge city for all of the tribes. Am I wrong?
Correct.
So how we figure that it's just 12 territories?
Because that's what they say according to the book, that there were 12 territories only carved out.
Okay. Now we need to go find some history on that, because there's nothing there that says that, and we have to actually, you know what I'm saying, really honestly base this. Did the Canaanites have any significance of the number 12? Because we took the cities from them.
Correct.
So I mean, if they had no association with 12, what is the likelihood that they had 12 cities that were actually just built, and only 12 cities?
Well, let's put it like this then. What if Israel only carved out 12 for themselves, but then left the rest of, let the Canaanites keep the rest?
I have no problems with that, because
remember Israel didn't kick all the Canaanites out of the territories.
Nope. They had
so
to
that
stay
means
somewhere.
there could have been territories that was left that the Canaanites were still inhabiting.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
And we know that they had to actually live amongst Israel. So where did they exactly stay amongst Israel?
Did they stay in the cities with Israel?
They had to live amongst Israel. And I'm going to go you one better. Manasseh and Ephraim do not have land in Canaan. They have land on the other side of the Jordan. That is not Canaan.
Okay.
Because when he told them to go in and take the land of Canaan, he told Manasseh and Ephraim and all their male people, y'all go across and fight. When we actually subdue all of our enemies in Canaan, y'all be able to return back to your land on the other side of the Jordan. Now, I want to go back and address these 12 motherfucking lands that this man said. Because Ephraim and Manasseh do not have lands in Canaan. They don't. Simple as that. So where do we get the 12? So where do we get the 12, 14 children of Jacob and all that?
I'm listening.
It don't make sense, because he only had 12 children. Manasseh and Ephraim don't even get lands inside Canaan. They get lands next to Canaan. So I want to know where the 14 children came from. See, that was my whole thing about it last night. I don't have a problem with what you're saying. What you're telling me is because somebody, and the other thing is, because you go by my name, that does not make you my
You breaking up.
Okay. Batman. Hello.
Yeah, you breaking up. I think the Matrix got you.
All right. I guess I have to chat.
Yeah.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you a little bit.
All right. Just because you got somebody's name does not make you their son.
Okay.
I
I
have my
agree.
I have my stepfather's last name. I am not his son, y'all. I'm not his son, regardless of how there is no way in the world any of his blood is running through my body. So please explain to me how I became his son.
But here's the thing, though. Joseph already had 2 sons, right?
Absolutely.
So they was going to automatically get the portion of Joseph anyhow.
Thank you.
So the whole point is why did he get a double portion? That's the point. Because see, I'm gonna play his words in a minute, because he's saying that because there's Ephraim and Manasseh in the name on the land called Ephraim and Manasseh, but there's no Joseph in the Levites. Because think about it, one of his whole premises was the land, right? You had the 12 sons, and then you had the 2 adopt, right? The Creator removed the Levites, which now becomes 13, right? Then you remove Joseph's name, which now becomes 12. But Joseph's name was never removed. Ephraim and Manasseh is 1.
Because they are the house of Joseph. They just
got a double portion.
Yeah. That's just the house of Joseph. That's all. That's still that same bloodline. What the fuck you mean?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I
guess they're saying he had an African wife.
No. Let's go back to the double portion law. What the double portion law does when one is hated. What do the double portion law does?
I haven't. I'm not. I know it, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know it offhand. What you got?
Anytime when one is hated or whatever, they always supposed to be a double portion comeback.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So was Joseph hated among his brethren?
Oh, that's right. Because Israel is hated amongst the people, and their punishment is going to be double.
There's going to be
right. That's right. You're absolutely right, brother. You're absolutely right.
So now let's look at the land that he spoke about. How did Joseph's 2 sons get a double portion? If the Creator did not remove the Levites from their portion, then Joseph's 2 sons would have just had 1 portion.
Yeah, because he's up there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But the Creator was gracious to move the Levites to himself.
Exactly.
And he gave Ephraim, the oldest one, the Levites portion.
Absolutely.
And Manasseh only got Joseph's portion. And so he gave the Levites, he allowed the Levites portion to be among all Israel.
Exactly, because it wasn't originally, I don't think they had that priest thing in mind.
No. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Well, because you know what I'm saying? Remember, they made Aaron a high priest. They made Aaron a high priest when he built the golden calf. But beyond that, Moses and Aaron are brothers. So what tribe is that, y'all?
That's the Levites.
So
Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, they are all of the same tribe. Those are brothers and sisters.
I agree. I'm not arguing the point. I'm just saying, if we think about that, Moses actually talked to the Most High. The Levites belong to the Most High. Where did it ever say that the Levites actually, you know what I'm saying, aren't part of Israel?
He said he told Moses don't count the Levites.
Just because you count them, don't count them, don't mean they ain't part of Israel. That's crazy.
Sister Latoya put up Genesis 41:52, and the name of the second called Ephraim, for God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction, because of Joseph's affliction.
Because he was hated. He was hated in the land of his affliction, and he gets a double helper as his reward.
as his reward.
What does any of that have to do with Jacob having more than 12 children?
It don't.
I mean, I listened to that whole thing last night, and that was the reason why I only had one question. Are these children actually, you know what I'm saying, required under the law of Deuteronomy 7 to go back to, you know what I'm saying, they only supposed to actually, you know what I'm saying, be with Israel? That's the only question I had, because the rest of it didn't make any damn sense one way or the other.
Sister Latoya put up Joshua 16:10, and they drove not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites until this day, and serve under tribute. An example of where Canaanites dwelt. So they dwelt among the Ephraimites. So Ephraim had their land, family. They were still living among the Ephraim. So he went on mute, but that's fine. We're gonna move forward. That's the reason why Joseph ended up getting the double portion, because one of the portions belonged to the Levites. Because every son is supposed to have a portion of the land.
Now, is there anything in there that tells you that somehow or another these two tribes that got adopted in are above Israel? Is there anything anywhere? Has anybody ever read anything that says that? Because that's what he was alluding to last night. I've never read where those two tribes actually. I see where he says Ephraim will become a great nation, but I don't say he's gonna ever be greater than Israel. I don't see that. As a matter of fact, they are now part of Israel, so I don't even know how you actually, you know what I'm saying, differentiate, but whatever.
But how did he become greater than Joseph?
Yeah, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Because that ain't nothing. When Ephraim become great, that's Joseph becoming great. You see what I'm saying?
I get it, brother.
We try to make it look like Ephraim and Manasseh is a tribe in Israel. They're not.
No, they ain't even. I told you, they don't even live in Canaan.
I'm gonna get into Genesis 48, because they're not a tribe of Israel. They're not.
They don't even live in Canaan.
Don't make them a tribe.
They don't even live in They don't even live in Canaan. By inheritance, they don't live in Canaan. They live on the other side of the Jordan.
If the Creator promised Jacob's sons the inheritance, which is the land, how did Joseph's sons slide into the inheritance?
They don't.
Over the Levites.
They don't.
How the Levites end up not having no land? I'm talking about a land named after them. And they are part of Jacob's seed line.
Not possible.
Oh, because the Creator chose them, and they say that they are his inheritance. Well, I just read at the beginning of the live, Israel is the Lord's inheritance. Israel is the Lord's portion.
Period.
So why Israel is on earth then? Does that mean that's why we scattered? Because the Levites were scattered throughout the 12 tribes. See?
Yeah, they didn't get to be a tribe that actually lived amongst themselves.
No, not the Levites. They didn't know, they were just scattered all among. They didn't know that it was a tribe. No, the Levites knew they was a tribe, and they were moving according to purpose. And the purpose was to minister, not just in the temple, but it was to minister within the territories of Israel. And I'm gonna prove that.
Well, that's where your judges come from.
You said what now?
That's where your judges come from.
That's right.
That's how your judges got. That's how your judges got formed. And why did they give you 12 judges if they didn't have just 12 tribes? Come on.
Let's go to let's go to 2 Chronicles 11:14. Let's go to 2 Chronicles, because we see that the Levites is in your territory. So they're getting your inheritance. They're receiving your inheritance. Okay? Excuse me, 2 Chronicles 11. They're receiving your inheritance. Okay? Your inheritance. They amongst the 12, they amongst the 12 lands. Okay? Now, 2 Chronicles 11:14. Now we getting this somewhere. Because see, the Levites were among all 12 territories. It wasn't just no one territory here. They was among all 12 territories. But here we go. Let me go right here, and I'm gonna go to verse 12. And in every several city, he put shields and spears and made them exceeding strong, having Judah and Benjamin on his side. Verse 13, and the priests and the Levites that were in all Israel resorts. You hear that? They were in all Israel resorts to him out of all their coasts. The Levites were all over the 12 tribes land. Their portion was your portion. Now, verse 14, for the Levites left their suburbs and their possessions and came to Judah and Jerusalem. For Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off from executing the priest's office unto the Creator. So what's taking place here? Now the Levites is not all over the place. They're now attaching themselves, all of them, to the southern kingdom. So did their possession shrink? Yes, it did. Their possession shrunk. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy 18. We lead up to Joseph, trust me. If you say something, Brother Marcus, you caught in the Matrix again. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18. Starting at verse 1. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. So hold on. If they ain't got no part or inheritance with Israel, but they living among Israel, how they don't have no part with Israel? I'm gonna let that sink with you. What does that mean that they not gonna have no part with Israel? Because I just read that Israel, that the Levites are going to be living in every last one of your territories, except during the time of Jeroboam. But before Jeroboam, and when they crossed the land and began and started being in the land, the Levites were in every last one of your territories. But it said right here that the Levites will have no part nor no inheritance with Israel. What does that mean? What does that mean? They're not going to have no part the priests, the Levites shall have no part, or the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. What does that mean? If they're not going to have no inheritance nor no part, why do they have possessions among Israel? Why they got cities and suburbs among Israel if they're not going to have no part? If they're not going to have no inheritance, why did each tribe had to give portions to the Levites? So is the Bible contradicting itself? I'm gonna let that sink. Is the Bible contradicting itself? What does it mean that the Levites will have no part nor inheritance with you? What does that mean? But they got cities and suburbs. That's not an inheritance? That's not having no part? I'm gonna move to verse 2 and come back to verse 1 because we about done. Sister Latoya is saying they won't have a set landmass with their name on it, but they will inherit their land off of the other tribes. Correct. They just ain't gonna have no name on the land, but they are going to inherit land from the other tribes. When it say that they're not going to take part in, they're not going to have no part, it's talking about the duties of the land. They're not going to have the same duties of the land like you do. That's why let's read verse 2. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. They're not going to have a name there. They're not going to have a name there because that land was given to one of Joseph's sons. That land was given to one of Joseph's sons. That's the only way they could have got a double portion. The Lord is their inheritance. You know why the Lord is their inheritance? Because Israel was supposed to be the inheritance of the earth for the Creator. So now the Levites is now they have to now minister within the borders for to Israel, because Israel, they was hard head. Sister Latoya put up the part of the land that they inherit is the temple and tabernacle. Yes, and they also inherit cities and suburbs. Brother Marcus say denoted land from the other city, from the other tribes for Levi. Right. They took land from the other tribes to give it to the Levites. Their name just wasn't there. It wasn't just saying the land of Levi, like the land of Judah, the land of Naphtali. Levi was just spread it all over. Their portion was within everyone else's portion. So if the Levites' portion was within everyone else's portion, then that's telling you what? They have an inheritance. Their name just ain't there. And they're not responsible for the land like each tribe were. Because each tribe had to make sure that they took care of the land and the Levites that were there on the land. They didn't have the same duties to the land like the other tribes did. Let's keep cooking. Now we're going. Now let's go to 8. Let's go to Genesis, the 19th chapter, because now we're getting into a request. Because Abraham is now requesting for Lot to be saved. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Abraham is requesting for Lot to be saved. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot and Lot sat in the what? Gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself and his face towards the ground. And he said, behold, now, my Lord, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and you shall what? Rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the streets all night. Okay? And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and enter into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake bread, unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they laid down, the men of the city, every man of Sodom, compassed the house round about, and the young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into this into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may have sex with them. So you can see how wicked this city was, right? Sodom and Gomorrah was wicked. They were wicked. And before, and Abraham realized that Sodom was going to get destroyed. And then what happened? Abraham began to cry out and said, if there are 10 righteous people in the city, would you serve them? The angel said, yeah, if it was 10. Then he said, he did it, he mastered that thing all the way down to 1. And the angel said, yes, if it's 1, I'll save him. And that's when he began to ask for Lot and his family to come out. And the angel told Lot and them to leave and don't look back. But Lot's wife looked back, and it said that she turned into a pillar of salt. But notice the whole story is what? Abraham prayed, he pleaded the same way Moses pleaded to the angel for allowing a man to sit upon the throne after his death. You see, these are pleas. These are prayers for pleading. This is what's taking place. And I wanted to bring this up because now we're getting ready to turn to the end of the podcast to Jacob. Because the Levites got a portion. They portion just as among you. Their portion was taken away and given to Joseph's children. Because all 12 tribes were promised a portion. It never said that the Creator chose the Levites to be his portion. That came after sin. Just like it wasn't never told to us that we had a king. We wanted a king. That came after sin. We desired a king. Judges, that came during sin. Prophets, sin. In the priesthood, that came after sin. So now we turn our minds and our eyes to Jacob. Let's go to Genesis 37. Why did Joseph say what he said? Genesis 37, verse 4 and 5 is my whole main key. But I'm gonna start at verse 37. I'm gonna start at verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger. That's Abraham. That's Isaac. They were strangers in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob, being 70 years old was feeding the flock of his brethren. And he laid, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his brethren, his children rather, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. Now, and when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him. Here we go right there. They hated him. And could not speak peacefully unto him. They hated Jacob. And they couldn't even talk to Jacob straight, because that's how much they hated him. Verse 6, and he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. And you can read the rest of the story for yourself. And when he told them about the dream, that he will be ruling them, they hated him even the more. They hated him even the more. Joseph was hated. And he was hated so much that his own brothers couldn't even speak peacefully to him. And then I better yet, you tell him about a dream. You're telling them about a dream that he's going to rule them. Jump down to verse 11. After he told the dream to him and his brothers and his father, what his brothers do? And his brothers involved him. But his father observed the saying. His brothers couldn't stand him. This is how much they hated him. And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. They hated Joseph. So I want you to keep that in mind. They hated Joseph. This was not no love. This was not no love relationship. This was a pure hate relationship. So let's go to Deuteronomy 22:13. What you got, Brother Marcus? Matrix still got you, brother. Deuteronomy 22:13. Brother, the Matrix still got you. Brother, the Matrix still got you. I'm gonna mute you. The Matrix still got you. Deuteronomy 22:13. We about done. If any man take a wife and go into her and hate her and give occasion speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came into her, I found her not to be a maid. See, he found out that she's not a virgin. You see? This is why he hated her. Then the father of the damsel and the mother take and bring forth the token of damsel virginity unto the elders of the city. Because you can't, if there's proof that she's not a virgin, you can't speak against her. You can't just hate just to hate. There has to be a reason. And the brothers did not hate. See, this man, if she was a virgin, but he hated her, and it's found out that he hated his wife for whatever reason. They're supposed to stone him. Because he's damaging her name. Joseph's reputation as a brother was damaged. I want you to view the hatred in the mind that the 11 brothers had against this man. It was straight hatred. And Joseph was hurt that his son was gone. And he didn't see his son. He didn't never think he would ever see his son again. And I can imagine he cried, and he cried, and he cried for his son, not knowing what happened to his son and if he'll ever see his son again. So then the famine happened. Then the famine happened. About the dream that Joseph had, a famine took place. Let's go to Genesis 46. A famine happened. Genesis 46. And we're going to go to verse, we're going to read 1 through 6. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Creator of his father Isaac. And the Creator spake unto Israel in a vision. And the Creator spake unto Israel, which is Jacob, in a vision of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am the Creator of your father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. So he's going to make Israel a great nation. That's what he said. I'm going to make Israel a great nation. He said, don't be afraid of going to Egypt, because in Egypt, I'm going to make Israel, I'm going to make you a great nation. Not the grandsons, but I'm going to make you a great nation, which is Jacob. Verse 4, he says, I will go down with you. You see? The Creator says he's going to be there with Jacob in Egypt. And I will also surely bring thee up again. So he's going to bring Jacob up again. How is he going to do that? Because Jacob is old. He's going to do that through the sons and through the son's seed line. That's how Jacob is going to come out, through the son's seed line. I will go down there with you, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will go down with thee into Egypt. And I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hands upon your eyes. Now he's mentioning Joseph. But why he ain't mentioning the two sons of Joseph? He mentioned Joseph, but why he did not mention the two sons of Joseph? And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob, their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons, which Pharaoh has sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt. Jacob and all his seed with him. You see? He brought everybody there. He brought everybody there. And he only mentioned Joseph one time. He said, Joseph gonna put his hands over your eyes. So let's keep riding. Let's keep riding. Genesis 48 and 9. Let's go to the 48th chapter now. So now we know Jacob is in Israel. He's in Egypt. The Creator already prophesied that Jacob is going to become a great nation. And the Creator told Jacob he's going to bring him out. The Creator told Jacob that Joseph is going to put his hands over your eyes. But he never said nothing about the two sons of Joseph. But let's keep going. Genesis 48. And I'm going to start at verse 1. And I'm going to read down to verse 9. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. So now Joseph, I want y'all to visualize. Joseph is sick. Word, that's just like if somebody tell you and call and from the hospital and say, your loved one is getting ready to pass. Same thing. Word came to Joseph that his father is sick. And the scripture says he took with him his two sons. So that means his two sons wasn't around Israel, the brothers. They was around Joseph. They wasn't around Jacob. I want y'all to pay attention to that, because that means the two sons did not know their family on his father's side. That's very key of where I'm about to end it. Let me read it again. And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, after it was told that his father was sick. Why was not his brothers, why was not his sons around his cousins and his uncles until Joseph was about to die?
Because they were not Israel.
I'm listening.
They were half children. If you ever actually took a child that's not all black to a older parent, a grandparent, and that grandparent, while they may love them, that grandparent does not necessarily accept them as part of the family.
That's right.
I think we had the same thing going, and Joseph knew not to bring them boys around. Jacob knew not to bring them boys around his daddy, Joseph, because there were instructions that you are to only populate with your family, your people of your race, nationality, color, creed, whatever the hell you want to call it. He was actually supposed. It's the same thing Jacob had told. Jacob did. If you remember, he was in the land of Canaan, around the Canaanites. He didn't go find his wife in Canaan. He went back to his mother's people. See, Jacob didn't get that opportunity because he grew up in Egypt.
You mean Joseph, excuse me.
He grew up in Egypt. So when he had his children, he knew not to actually bring them children around his dad, because his dad wasn't going to accept them, or he didn't think he would. The only reason why he took them at that time is because his daddy was about to die.
His daddy was about to die. And I think a lot of people miss that. This is very key, because let me read it again, Brother Marcus. And it came to pass after these things, that one told Joseph, behold, your father is sick. And he took with him his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. So that means his two sons was not even around his father's family.
They had never met him. Never met him. He reunited with his whole family, never bothered to bring his sons.
Now that's key. Now that's important now, Marcus. That's very important, Brother Marcus.
He reunited with his whole family and never thought to bring his children.
So let's keep going. Verse 2. And one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. So they telling Joseph, somebody told Jacob, your son Joseph is here. And Israel strengthened himself and sat up on the bed. So Israel is laying on the bed. He's weak. So when he heard that his son Joseph has come, he got a little bit more strength and he sat up. I want y'all to visualize this as somebody visiting somebody in the hospital. In verse 3, and Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. That's what he said to Joseph. He came to me in Luz, the Creator, and he blessed me. And verse 4 said, and said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful, multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and I will give the land of thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. He's just talking to Joseph. He's telling Joseph what the Creator told him. He's talking to Joseph. Remember, he mustered up the strength to sit up on the bed to talk to Joseph, because Jacob is weak and about to die. I can imagine Jacob is frail.
You mean Joseph?
No, Jacob. Jacob sat up on the bed, and Jacob is frail. You follow me?
Okay.
He's talking to Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that the Creator is going to make him a great nation. Now notice, he didn't say nothing about his two sons. But watch, I want you to watch the conversation. Verse 5. And now the two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto you in the land of Egypt before I came unto you in Egypt, are mine. You see this? As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. What is Jacob talking about here?
I'm going to take them and adopt them into this family.
Why do you think he's saying that?
Because his son just told him that the Most High said that his children shall be a great nation. His seed. He don't have no other children.
Who do I have? You talking about Joseph?
I'm talking about Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob don't have any more children, right?
So the Most High told Joseph that, that he was actually, going to be a great nation. How's that possible? Unless he has children.
No. He didn't tell Joseph. He told Jacob that he's going to be a great nation.
Okay, yeah. And then, how's that? Okay, well, shit. It's still the same thing. How is Jacob actually going to be a great nation unless he has children that he blessed in order that happen? It's just the natural order of things. He told his dad what the Most High told him, and then, well, let me bless the children so that is a matter of fact.
Okay, so what you're saying is he blessed Joseph's children in order to keep that blessing flowing through Joseph, for Joseph.
Yeah. That's the only way it works. It's either that, I mean, Joseph didn't have any more children, so how does he become a great nation?
Right, and remember, Joseph was X'd out at one time.
Yeah.
So now he's back in, and now Jacob is now getting ready to leave. But how would Jacob make sure that Joseph's seed is inside of the fold now, except adopting them in?
That's the only way it works. They are not of Joseph's seed line. I mean, Jacob's seed line. They're half-breeds.
Right, they're half-breeds, correct.
Which makes them bastards.
Correct.
The only way to bring them back to Israel is for him to ask for the Most High to bless them and make Joseph a great nation. Unless Joseph's going to have some more children down the road.
But then if he has some more children, they have to get with an Israelite.
He has to get with that's what the whole thing was. Any other children that you have are thine. These I will bring into the fold. Jacob's telling, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right, because he can now connect back with Israel.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? And I am, you know what I'm saying? I am the patriarch of this right now. You don't have the ability to do it, only I do.
Right, and Joseph now can if he want to have children, he can now get back with Israel. You know what I'm saying? Within the fold of Israel, to have babies within the lineage of Israel. He's no longer on the outside no more.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Manasseh and Ephraim have no choice but to actually join in with the family, and they, from that going forward, they actually, you know what I'm saying, are connected back into Israel, you know what I'm saying, through seed line. It's the only time you're going to see in the Bible where the Most High is just adopting children.
That's right.
It's the only time in the Bible you see it. Now, how the hell did Gentiles get in?
So Jacob said, these are mine. Verse 6, and he says, and thy issues, which is your bloodline, which thou begettest after them, shall be yours, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance.
Egyptians.
So they're going to be called after that, but I'm going to bring these two in. Now, watch this. And verse 7, and as for me, when I came to what? Padram, Rachel died by me in the what? Land of Canaan. In the way, when I yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath. And I buried her there in the way of Ephrath. The same in Bethlehem, whatever that, Bethlehem. And Israel, behold, beheld Joseph's son, and said, who are these? So he don't even know them.
At all.
See, because he was just telling them that he buried his mother. So then he turned around and say, who are these? So to me, it's like, if they would have had a connection when he was there, because remember that they was in Egypt. Why he didn't know, why he asking them, who are these? So that's showing he don't even know them. Jacob don't even know Joseph's son. So now let's go to verse 9. And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons. Jacob never met his sons. All that time they was in Egypt, in the land of Goshen, they never met. Joseph never allowed his sons to meet his father. He said, these are my sons, whom God has given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. So Jacob didn't know Joseph had two sons. But then after Jacob had made that comment that any child, any kids that you have gonna be mine, and anything after that is gonna be yours. Then he said, well, who is these people? He said, these are my two sons. So Jacob didn't even know Joseph had sons, children. So now Jacob is saying, bring them so I can bless them. Verse 10. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. You know why? Because he never knew them. He never knew them. I want y'all to think about this. Jacob never knew Joseph's two sons. He never knew them. Verse 11. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God has showed me also your seed. See? He said, God showed me your seed, but he never knew them personally. This is his first time meeting Joseph's two sons. In verse 12, and Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. So he allowed his two sons to now go to their grandfather. And Joseph prostrated himself to the earth because he realized that Jacob, his father, is getting ready to bless his two sons. But Jacob never knew his two grandsons from Joseph. This is their first time meeting. Verse 13. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. So he grabbed them as much as he can to bring them close to him while he was sitting up on the bed. Verse 14, and Israel stretched out his hand, his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, and who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his head with his hands wittily, for Manasseh was the firstborn. So he's placing his hands upon both of the sons of Joseph. 15, and he blessed Joseph, and he blessed Joseph. How did he bless Joseph? Through the two sons. He blessed Joseph through the two sons. He's blessing Joseph through the two sons. and said, God before me, whom my fathers, Abraham, Isaac did walk, and God which fed me all my life long unto this day. The angel which redeemed me from all evil. That's the one he wrestled with. Bless the lads. So he's praying, and now he's asking to allow the lads to be blessed. He's asking for the lads to be blessed. That's a direct order that Jacob is now adopting the two in.
Because without it, they're not part of the family.
They're not part of the family. Joseph's seed would have ended. So he's bringing these two in. He's blessed the land and let my name be upon them. See? He's given them the name of him, Israel. And the name of thy what? Father Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. This is a prayer that Jacob is praying upon both brothers. Why did he say the midst of the earth? Marcus, that's a good question. Why did he say the midst of the earth? Because Jerusalem is in the middle. And Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim. It displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head into Manasseh's head, because he put the right hand upon the younger one. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he. And his seed shall become a multitude of nations. Now that's the brother argument right there. That they're going to become a great nation of themselves. Did Judah's seed become a great nation of themselves? He'll say no. He'll say yeah, no, because they still got the name of Judah. Let's go back up. And then I'm going to close on out. Let's go to verse 14. No, excuse me, 15. While he was saying that about his two sons, verse 15, and it says, and he blessed Joseph. Those two names, when he was laying his hands upon those two brothers, at the same time, it was blessing Joseph. It was blessing Joseph. Isaiah 61:7. It was blessing Joseph. They wasn't getting no blessing for them to be a house of themselves. Jacob was just bringing those two brothers into the inheritance. Isaiah 61, verse 7. And I got two more and I'm done. For your shame, you shall have double. And for confusion, they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore, in their land, they shall possess the what? Double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. Everything, when you get a promise, everything shall be a double. When you get punished, everything shall be double. Jeremiah 16:18. Jeremiah 16:18. And first I will recompense their iniquities and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. They're going to be paid back double. Let's go to Job 42 and 10. Job 42 and 10. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Then came unto him all his brethren and all his sisters and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in the house, and they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earning of gold. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than its beginning. You see? Everything, when you are hated, you have to get another portion. So where did the other portion come from? They say, oh, by the sword of the Amorites. I get that. But who portion really that was? If Israel never had sinned, would Joseph ever would have had a double portion in the purpose of land? Brother Marcus, you got the last words. You still there, Brother Marcus? That's the reason why the Creator brought the Levites to himself. Not just for the purpose for ministry, but it was to also honor Joseph for the double portion. Because other than that, there would have been no other way that Joseph would have got his double portion. Now, if anybody wants to challenge that, the link is in the chat. you come and challenge it. I'll leave the link. I'll leave open for about 2 to 3 minutes. If you come open, you come in now. That's the reason why the Levites did not have no land. Because that land that the Levites had went to one of the sons of Joseph. And then the other son of Joseph got the regular portion that Joseph was supposed to have. That's how Ephraim and Manasseh got land, got the other half of the land, which is the double portion. Yes, sir. What you say, Brother Marcus?
Brother, that was the explanation for that foolishness he was actually, you know what I'm saying, coming with last night. That was weird. And he shouldn't have been allowed, but you could let him talk for half an hour. We should have stopped him like 5 minutes into that.
Well, I'm about to play just about a minute of his conversation to show you his whole point of what he was actually, what his whole premises was.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to only show a minute. I'm not going to show no whole thing. This is his whole argument. Let me turn down my music. This is whole premises of his argument. Here we go. Take off.
Rumble.
We got the pilot in. We were sitting there waiting. I thank y'all for being patient on ITFTR Network Airlines. And we hope that I'm going to sit back and put it on autopilot. And we're going to allow the brother to cook. The brother said that Jacob has more than 12 sons. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. We just want to make sure we're on the same page. Now, you see, he said Jacob had more than 12 sons. Let's ride. We get started. Can you introduce yourself and give us a little bit background of you?
Yes, this is Brother Eliza. I do stutter, so like I said, I always say that because you will hear my voice go in and out. It's not the device itself, but I do stutter. Yes, from my background is 1 West 125th Street, and I've been there from 1990, and so I've been around for a while. In 1 West, I was taught the full gospel of the New Testament, Old Testament, the tribe of Israel, and so on and so forth. And that's what I had kept and deal with for the last 35 years. But lately, in the last couple of years, last 2 or 3 years, I've been doing a lot of research, not research per se, but questioning. Better say the word question. I begin to question a lot of the teaching that I was taught by the brothers in 1 West. And I don't have nothing negative to say about the brothers in 1 West. They did what they did, they knew what they gave me what they knew then. They gave me what they knew at the time, in their time, which was in 1990, like 35 years ago. So with time, people grow and got information and knowledge like increase. So with that, but this topic right here is not a new topic. It's not something I could say is new that I'm going to bring to you, brothers. It might be new to you guys because you guys, most Israelites did not accept the idea. And so because we didn't accept it, we didn't look into it, but it's a pretty old topic. There's a book called The 13th Tribe, and the brothers in the school back then in the days had the book. But
see, that's why I told y'all he talks about the 13th tribe. Let's keep cooking.
Use the book mainly to make mockery of the Jews, the so-called Jews. We used to use the book and slap the book around and so on and so forth, and talk about these crazy Jews that they don't know nothing, and talk about the 13th tribe, the 13th tribe. Okay, so, and because of that teaching, I just didn't question it, and I just accepted it and went along with it for a very, very long time. Okay, but in the last couple of months, I came across a different idea, and I've been talking to brothers here and there, and the brother gave me a chance to come on his platform to present my argument. It's a very simple argument, and when it is presented, most brothers is going to keep brother, something was wrong with me. Didn't see this basic teaching. Brother, it is so simple.
Fine, but like I say, we're gonna like the strong points 30 minutes, and then like I say, we'll after the 30 minutes we'll move on from that point. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let me do this right here. I want to be fair. Like I said, I'm gonna give you 30 minutes without no interruptions. I don't want nobody to say, hey, you cut me off, whatever. Like I said, the only time when I cut you off is something about to happen to the with the platform. All right. So you can see right here. I don't know if you can see it. You see right here.
Yeah.
All right. That's the stopwatch. So I'm giving you 30. I'm giving you 30 minutes to cook.
Okay.
Then we'll come back from that point. All right.
Yeah.
So family, let's buckle yourself up. The brother get ready to cook. He gonna present 30 minutes strong points that there are more than 12 tribes that Jacob had. All right, family. But you got it. It's starting.
Go. Okay. Yes, I had made this argument. Is this the idea of a 14 sons, 13 tribe is kind of new. The common idea is the idea of a 13 tribe, but the problem we're having is the way how that is present itself. Everybody knows that there's only 12 tribes. How then can we say it's 13 tribe, 14 sons? We all know that Jacob only had 12 sons. We all know Jacob, the land is divided into 12 parts, right? So with that basic understanding of we all have common belief, understanding, we have all common understanding that Jacob had 12 sons, the land was divided into 12 parts, and there's only 12 tribes, okay? So that's a pretty neutral understanding that most people have, and they won't be wrong if they just stay with the idea of 12, 12, 12, okay? But there's a scripture here, Barry, ready? In Genesis 48, Genesis 48 and 21 and 22. Okay.
Genesis 48.
Yes.
And verses 21 and 22. 21 says, and Israel said unto Joseph, behold, but Elohim shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given you one portion above your brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow.
Okay, so this is, I'll try to create a picture here. Jacob is in the land of Egypt. He's getting old and he's about to die. Joseph came to him and he is telling Joseph that the God of his father will bring him back to this land called Canaan, okay? Also, he told Joseph, I gave you a portion over your brethren. So keep in mind, we have 12 sons, 12 portion of land. Joseph got 2 portion. If you take away 2 from 12, you have 10 portion left. But the problem we have 11 sons. How could you put a bigger number into a smaller number? There's a problem because 11 cannot fit into 10. One person, one son won't be able to get land, okay, from this verse right here.
Now, family, how do you get to that? You got 12 sons, you got 12 pieces of land. But then Joseph, 2 sons, going to end up getting a land. Joseph did not go out of Egypt So his two sons went out of Egypt. Joseph never went. He never left Egypt. He
But
died
the
in
Most
Egypt.
High said he would bring him out of Egypt again. How's that possible?
Well, you know, he told Jacob he gonna bring him out.
Yeah.
But that's why I say, remember Joseph said when he died, when they leave Egypt, take his bones out. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, Joseph said take his bones out, and they took his bones out of Egypt. So you got 12 land, you got 12 points of lands, and you got 12 sons. But then Joseph's two sons is going to get a double portion. Now I want you to think about that. That means you'll just have one land left over. I mean, one person will not get land. Who was that one person? That did not happen till after Israel sinned with the golden calves. When the Creator made the Levites his inheritance. When they made his inheritance, he was told, Moses was told not to count the Levites because they're doing the duties of him now. So what happens to the Levites' land?
That was where it was actually split up between Manasseh.
I don't have to go no further in this video. I don't have to go no further in this video. That takes a place that equates the land right there.
Yeah.
One of the sons of Joseph got the Levites' land. And that's why the Levites portion is throughout all Israel. You got the last words, Brother Marcus.
Yeah, y'all might want to read up on the Levites, man. They were a different group. They really were inside of Israel. Just in general, you read up on slavery in Egypt with the Levites. They were different people.
Right. So
But that's good. That's a good explanation, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A good explanation to actually, you know what I'm saying, explain really how that actually was working. You can't bless Joseph unless you bless his children.
That's true. You got to bless. They was gonna get the inheritance anyhow.
No,
Because that's his children.
you know what I'm saying? And that was Jacob's first time seeing his grandchildren.
That was his first time.
Very first time. And Jacob and Joseph chose not to bring his grandchildren around him. Wonder why?
Hey.
Wonder
So
why? Here's another one. I'm pretty sure Jacob never met the boy's mother.
I don't think so either. Because if he didn't meet the sons, I know he didn't meet the mother. If he didn't meet the sons, I know he didn't meet the mother. Because it didn't say the mother came, you know what I'm saying? It just said he took the two sons with him. It
Don't even mention the mother.
Nope.
At all.
So that's how Joseph's two sons end up with two portions of land. One of the lands belonged to the Levites. The Levites the Creator removed the Levites from their portion and gave it to Joseph. And then the Levites became the Creator's inheritance, meaning their portion was among all 12 tribes. That's the simple explanation right there.
Yeah, and they actually served the Creator personally.
They served the Creator personally. So it's not that you got the land allotment and somebody was left out of land. Nobody was left out of land.
Nope.
Nobody. Everybody had the land.
Levites got land.
Yes, everybody had land. It's just that the Levites did not have a name on the land.
And the reason why is because their land is the same land that the Most High had. That is the temple area. That is the Holy of Holies.
Correct.
You ain't gonna put your name on the Most High. You crazy as hell. That's why. I mean, that's the answer. But they lived among you. You gave them a house within your, you know what I'm saying, within your community.
So how did they have no possessions and no inheritance?
They didn't have anything that they owned personally.
Because
was
they moved around.
Yeah, they were priests, and later on became judges.
That's right. So that's what I'm saying. So because they had the Levites, some of the Levites had cattle too, but
Yeah.
they had to gain possessions from you. You helped with the portions of their land. I mean, of their inheritance. Their inheritance was among the Israelites. They had no personal inheritance, but their inheritance was among the Israelites. So, but the actual land for them having the land of Levi. Now that was done when, you know what I'm saying, when Israel sinned. But if Israel never sinned, you would have had a land of Levi.
Yeah, Aaron had to be punished first. He was the first priest.
That's right.
Aaron's sin had to be punished. He made the golden calf, y'all. Pay attention.
So they lost. The Levites lost out.
Yeah, and he lucky he didn't get killed, but so I guess for prior service he spoke for Moses, so
Well, we're gonna go ahead and close on out. Thank you for joining me. This is Moray Yaakov. We'll be back on Thursday with some more historical indigenous points of the Bible. So be looking out for that. And we'll be back on Friday. We'll get back into some more JC. All right, in the Creator's will. But we thank y'all. May the rest of y'all day be peaceful, restful, and relaxful, family. Hey, shalom, shalom.